Here we go.
Well, here we are. First ever episode of Marveling in the Madness. I think we're going to go to a topic which you might be familiar with because it's your team. We'll talk about Leicester Tigers first. Because apparently he's now the manager of England, I believe. Rumours.
I don't know if there's much rumours in it since it's
Oh, I
been in
don't
every news
know.
article.
I've not actually looked into it. I've just been told today. So that's what I'm saying. This is we're going to go with something you know a bit more about. You can tell me a bit more about it because I don't know a lot. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, it's Steve Borthwick and Kevin Sinfield are probably two main coaches have been taken by England. So yeah, it's a good coup for England, to be honest. I think they'll do a good job, but it's obviously a big loss for Leicester, my team. But what can you do? Well, I'm sure hopefully Richard Wigglesworth will step up. He's been promoted from within, so we'll see how it goes. It's to be honest, I was a bit worried about whether Steve Borthwick was the right fit. He's a brilliant coach, there's no doubt about it. But whether we wanted to try something different, but to be honest, I think having seen Steve Borthwick in action and things, he's going to be brilliant for England. Hopefully, we'll finally be able to beat you at a World Cup.
Oh, yeah, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, Although saying that, though, we've not been playing amazingly. We've done enough. We've beat some of the good teams and also lost to some of the better teams. So
that's true.
I feel like at the moment it's all up in the air, which I think is quite good because it'll make the World Cup more interesting. Because I feel like if we're really dominant at the moment, it'll be really boring. We'll be like, oh, yeah, we're definitely 100% going to win. And
yeah,
I'm not going to watch it much.
To be honest, did we even say it was rugby union? Anyway, rugby union. I think at the moment the best team is probably either Ireland or France. I think they've got to be the favourites at the moment, but
easily.
I suspect South Africa and New Zealand will come good at some point in the next year as well. So,
well, that's the thing. You can never rule both of them out. Obviously, both been world champions before, but we shall see. None of us are really peaked, but you don't really want to peak at the moment. Losing a few key players, shall I say. So obviously, Andrew Pollard's still injured. He's still in rehab, so that's a bit annoying. We haven't got like a set kicker. We seem to be going between.
Yeah, it's annoying for us as well.
Yeah, so it's a bit weird at the moment. I think Faf should probably take over because actually he's pretty good at it. So just give him the role. Don't know what's going on with Elton Yankees. He's here, there, and everywhere, and just always in the tabloids. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, well, that's exciting at the very least. Or at least someone different might win. So hopefully not. If it's not New Zealand or South Africa, it'll be a bit of a change. So
true.
Can't
you have high hopes because obviously you got to look what he did for Leicester the whole of last year. Obviously they played very, very well. So do you think that you'll take some of those similar tactics into obviously the English squad or completely change it?
I think he'll probably change the tactics a little bit, which I think was what people were worried about, including myself initially. But having thought about it, I think I can't see him taking exactly the same tactics. I think he's going to widen the game a bit. He'll use the resource he has. He's a very clever tactical coach, so I think he'll certainly make it interesting. There's certainly one thing he will do is make it difficult to play us. So, which recently, to be honest, we haven't been that difficult to play. So
yeah, I suppose you don't want to talk about the autumn season, do you, or the autumn series, really?
Well, what do you mean? I thought we were smashing it.
It's really touch and go, wasn't it? Let's be honest. And then there was the game against New Zealand, which was just the weirdest game I've ever watched. Very entertaining, but the weirdest game.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way we should have drawn that game. But
yeah,
I thought, to be honest, that might have the fact that we drew that game might have saved Eddie, to be honest, but it didn't for whatever reason. So
yeah, I think.
Well, we've got to change, and let's see how it goes.
I think unfortunately for him, it was kind of like, no, I wouldn't say a long time coming, but they were sort of going on that sort of win streak they had a while back. I think it was 16 or 17 games where England were undefeated. I'm like, obviously that's good, but you can't ride on the coattails, of former victories. You have to move forward. You have to change the way you play.
Yeah, that's the challenge, isn't it? So, oh well, we'll see if it works out and see how Steve Borthwick goes. Hopefully it'll be a good thing. Hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, because obviously it's got two, well, not even 2 months, a month and a little bit, and then you've got uh, Six Nations. So that'll be quite interesting. And then I'll imagine there'll be a few friendlies between, and then I think it was in like June or July, the World Cup, somewhere around there.
To be honest, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to check, but yeah, we haven't got long.
So
I think it's less than 9 months.
Not really a lot of time for him to bring a lot of tactics and change things, but obviously he has to. But we shall see.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see. I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah. Well, you can only wish him the best, can't you?
Indeed. Well, he'll certainly. I suspect he'll have to turn it around pretty quick. But
interesting to see like what players he changes. Will he keep them the same? Because obviously they still not gelling, but they're fairly familiar. Or we'll just be like, let's just see what we can do, chop and change a lot of things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the players are bad. It's just poor tactics sometimes, I would say.
Yeah, I think some of the players probably don't gel as well together. I suspect he'll keep a lot of the players the same because they are some of the best players, but I suspect he'll change a few in key areas maybe. I've seen a few different team selections that people have thought he might go with, but yeah, I can't see him changing everything. I don't know whether he'll carry on with the Farrell Marcus Smith axis, but to me that hasn't worked, as most people have said. But it could work in time. But I think he might try something different, because obviously if we're going to try and win the next games, then probably you're going to swap from that, I suspect.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. We'll just have to wait and see what's to come of it. I think it'll make it a bit exciting.
Indeed. See how it goes.
Next topic. Do you think Kanye West, or Ye, as everyone wants to call him now?
Well, that is his proper name now, I think, isn't it? Hasn't he legally changed his name?
He changed his Ye. Do you think he should be, for the moment being, do you think he should be deplatformed off of pretty much everything at the moment? Because obviously he's saying some very outlandish things at the moment, which is not really good, is it? Let's be honest.
No, to be honest, I haven't followed it that much, but I think if he's if he says things on platforms that are against the platform's terms and conditions or terms of use, then I think he should be taken off. I don't think you could kick someone off platforms if he hasn't said anything on that platform. But I guess if he says something on Twitter, for example, that was inappropriate, then I think he should be taken off if it's against their terms of use. Now, you could argue that a lot of the stuff that I've heard he's been saying, that they should be against the terms of use, even if they're not. So maybe he should be taken off platforms where he's been saying it. But yeah, I don't know. I think he needs someone to speak a bit of truth into his ears, rather than whatever he's seemingly listening to. It seems to not be. I don't know what it is. What he's been, where it's coming from.
Well, I think he's surrounded by a lot of yes men, so he's not really got anyone to be like, Kanye, you being crazy, or you being crazy. So yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues. I think personally, I think he needs to take time away from all media, all interviews, just calm down for a little bit, Because I think I don't know what's fully wrong there. I imagine it's some sort of mental episodes. That's what's being passed around, but I don't know how true that is. But I imagine it's something like that. So bipolar disorder, so obviously having a very high episode, and you're just going to say the most outlandish things just to get a reaction. Can't imagine those are his actual thoughts, which I can't speak for him. Can't imagine anyone saying they love Hitler in any regard, because that's just crazy.
No, it's a bit of a strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and then posting SWAT stickers as well, because even Elon Musk tried to help me. He was like, mate, remove it, and we'll give you another chance. Obviously, I'm just, what's the word? Yeah, so basically try to give him another chance. He wasn't having none of it. So I think he got blocked off that one. I think he still has Instagram, but I haven't checked, to be honest.
Yeah, I think if he's starting to post things like that, I think it's well, if he thought about the history of those things, I'm not sure why anyone would post it. I think he's been hanging around with white supremacists and people like that, and it makes absolutely no sense. So there's something going on with him, and I think he needs people close to him, or he needs to realize himself that he needs to go and take a step back and go and maybe get some help, or have a bit of support somewhere. I just think he doesn't seem to be himself. He's not been like that in the past, so something doesn't seem right.
I suppose before, at least he had his wife, so at least she'll probably be like, yeah, you're going a bit off the rails. Probably need to hop on whatever medication you're taking. But now, obviously, that's its own sort of drama. They're divorced or whatever, so he doesn't really have that voice of reason, shall we say.
Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't gone off like he has before. There seems to be he's always had slight character quirks where he can do things like this and go off the rails a little bit, but this seems a prolonged period, doesn't it? So,
but before they were kind of helpful when he was talking about, I think, which president was it? I think he was talking about Bush. He was like, Bush doesn't care about Black lives and stuff like that. Very like, I think that was like 2009. At least that was like somewhat helpful because it was somewhat true. There was that massive sort of hurricane. I think it was in New Orleans, and yeah, pretty much nothing was done to like really help the people. So there you can be like, that kind of makes sense. Whereas now he's going to like rallies and just going wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, and you're like, what are you doing, man? Like,
yeah,
you're not thinking straight. And then obviously there's a time we're spending with Donald Trump, not the best character. Also says outlandish things for the sake of saying outlandish things. So you're like, yeah, you probably need to change the people you're hanging around with, because obviously they're not doing you any favors.
Yeah, that's as I said, it just doesn't make sense, does it? There's nothing really you can say about it other than there's something not right in the entire situation, and it needs to. I don't know, a bit of. You'd like to think there'd be people around him that can help him or steer him back to some sort of level footing, but I don't know. It seems bizarre, and unfortunately, it's all playing out in the media because he's a big star, isn't he? And you often see when these things happen in the media, you always think, "Oh no, it's just not what people need." It makes people worse, and then you see people commenting either good or bad, and just everything becomes magnified tenfold, doesn't it?
Oh, because my biggest issue, obviously, it's wrong what he's saying, but I feel like he doesn't really mean that. He's just having whatever episode it is. But obviously, there will be people that genuinely think like that, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this guy is really speaking for me," And obviously, that can like just soon spiral out of control, if it hasn't been already. So,
absolutely.
When you go on, whose podcast did he go on? I think it was Alex Jones, and he's just wearing a mask and he's talking through some weird stick puppet thing. You're like, what's going on, my guy? Like, what are you doing? Just go back to making music, making fashion. You were good there. You were good there. Just stay there. You don't need to like be for the people. Just do the music. You're good. But then again, I don't want to speak for him. I tell him what he can and can't do, but clearly what you do now is not working for you.
yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
stop doing that, because it's like yeah. I just think if you're unfortunately there are a lot of people who have been led down certain paths that obviously I think are very against what is real and what is true, but unfortunately then you have people propagating those rumors, and people who are in quite high profile positions that obviously, if people speak that, then people are more likely to believe and follow it. So it's crazy. I think we just need to give each other a bit more. It's the problem with the modern world, isn't it? To some degree, is that you can access all sorts of nonsense out there, and unfortunately, anybody's allowed to have a bit like we're doing tonight, which is have an opinion about things that, let's be honest, most of the time we have absolutely no idea about. And,
oh no, we're generally just grasping at straw, you know. And obviously, you can have fun with it, but I feel like it's when you feel like whatever you think is absolute truth, like you think you know. I'm like, how do you think you're gonna know? You're not in the room with these people. You're not talking to them or whatever. So it's okay to have an opinion. Just don't let that opinion be like, oh, now you somehow turn that into your truth or trying to turn it into facts when you don't know the full story.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you've also got to realize that different people's opinions have more weight in certain topics. Like, I don't know, if you to talk, you're a fitness instructor. If you talk about fitness instructing, your opinion or your what you're saying will have a lot more weight behind it than if I go talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fitness instructor. I haven't studied it for years. So, like, me speaking about it, I'm not going to have the same weight of, my opinion won't hold the same weight of support behind it that yours would, in terms of experience or in terms of knowledge. Whereas if you start talking about civil engineering, which is my field, then like you just like it's crazy when we think about it, really. Like, if we were trying to build a building, people aren't going to come to you and listen to your opinion on how you think it should be done, because let's be honest, you'd have no idea.
I would haven't got a clue. I'm like, why even talk to me about this? Is a waste of time for people.
Yeah, that's it. But like, of course, you might have an opinion on it. You might say, well, I think might need to do this, but you'd go to someone who knows. Like,
like they talk about general design, when we talk about foundations and all that other fun stuff and plumbing, and you know, I'm like, yeah.
So like, it'd be like,
thank you for asking. I feel privileged that you asked, but let's not waste each other's time. There's books, go read them, have fun.
That's the weird thing, isn't it? Yeah, and like all sorts of other things, like when it comes to like other areas of life, for some reason we've decided now that everyone has a valid and equal opinion, and actually we don't. And I think it's crazy. Like, you've got to respect that some people's opinions are worth more than your own in certain areas. And I think if you
100%, like, I wouldn't call myself like the biggest politician in the world, so I let other people, well, not speak for me, but I just don't know enough about it. Or it's not that I don't know enough, I don't care enough about it to like have said like my opinion is more important than others. I'm like, cool, if that's what you think, I'm happy for you. Don't get me wrong, keep up with the general news to a certain degree, but I also feel like they're all lying, so and nothing really gets done. So it's just something that just goes round in circles.
Yeah, I have an opinion on most things, and sometimes I think it's a fairly well evidenced opinion, and sometimes it's just a gut feeling, and that's okay. But and in some situations that's all you can go on. But we need to I just think we need to be a bit careful about always assuming that everyone's opinion is equally valid and can be treated as fact. I think we need to be a bit more open to listening to wisdom from people who know.
100%. 100%. I agree. I couldn't agree more.
I can't even remember what we're talking about now. What were we talking about? We're talking about Yay.
Got off on a weird tangent. Yeah, but that's like the fun of it. Because the next one, like the next topic we're going to talk about, again, I don't know much about it, but I just think it's very odd. So it's the whole, I think I sent you a message about it. It's the whole sort of Balenciaga photo shoot thing. So basically, the basic rundown is they had these two campaigns, and they had like children with random adult stuff. So it was like, champagne glasses, champagne stuff, weird spiky, like just more adult stuff around children. It just didn't make any sense. Like, who's authorized this? Who's thought, yeah, that's a great idea. We're gonna have really young children. Also, I'm looking at the parents like, why we allowed them to do that? What's going on in your mind? But yeah, it's just so bizarre. It's not like I think there's been three sort of two campaigns or 3 campaigns, similar thing, just weird, just a weird vibe.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on there?
Well, I don't know what's going on, if I'm honest. Like, it seems like if it was me, I'd be like, absolutely not doing that. Not my kid is not being involved in that. I don't want to give them any childhood trauma that they're going to remember when they're flashbacks when they're 18, 30 or 40. And but it's just, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to be edgy and cool, but they haven't really thought about what they're doing. Like, I don't know. Some people might not see any harm in it, I suppose. Like, what's the harm in them sitting with a champagne glass? They're not. It's not like they're actually drinking it, but
Yeah, but it just gives like a weird intention, you know, because there was like a spiky dog bowl. There's a few other things that were just odd. I'm like, why is that there? It's just
yeah,
like very adult theme, and then you got like this innocent child. Because I look at it 2 ways. Firstly, if you're rocking up on set with your children and that's what you see, you just be like, no, we turn around, we're going home. You know, the money's not worth it. There'll be another campaign, there'll be another project. But it's not even that. It's like, obviously there was a creative design team.
yeah,
There would be like overseers, people looking at it and be like, yeah, this is a solid idea. We should definitely run with this. This will be amazing. Like, what's wrong with your brain? I get sometimes, like I say, being edgy, but anyone, well, you don't even have to have children to look at it and be like, something sus is going on over there. I think there was even a court case, but I'll say allegedly because I don't know how much is actually going on with that court case. I think it's been settled or whatever, but it was talking about like using children in that situation, but it's not classed as like child pornography. It's a bit weird. It's very, very weird. So that's why I'm saying allegedly, because I don't know the full ins and outs. Like, I couldn't even watch the full video because I was just like, I'm not sure I want to know, to be honest, because that's just bizarre.
yeah. It seems very off-piste to me, but it's very. It seems wrong, but you just imagine being in that meeting and they're like, there's someone coming up, I've got a really out there idea. Shall we put some kids with some really adult themes? Everyone's just sitting there going, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. That's really hip and edgy, and no one's going to think of that. Yeah, no one's going to think of it because it's a stupid idea.
And the thing is, it's like, it's a company, well, it's a well-known brand company. It's not like they need, because it's high-end fashion, which, you know, take of that what you will. But it's not like they need to advertise because, you know, their everyday sort of person is people that have a lot of money. So it's not like they need to advertise the general public. So it was like, why now and why that? That's like, but in the same way, I get, in a way, we're talking about it, so it's free publicity. Better ways to go about it, you know, to play devil's advocate. But there's better ways to go about it. But we are here talking about it. I think it's been probably a month now, and it's still weirdly lingering on my brain because I still think, yeah, it's weird. Your whole creative team, what are they thinking? But, you know, I mean, they can do what they want. But I'm like, the parents still went through with it. That to me is the oddest thing.
Yeah,
you know, as like a parent, obviously I can't speak as a parent, but the first thing you do is like obviously protect your children. Forget money. Money will come in another way. You'll find it, you know. Protect your children at all costs. I think that's like the basic premise. And obviously you just let them roll through. And that's now forever on the internet. At some point we're gonna stop caring about it or more news will come out or whatever. But you just think that's just so bizarre. So
yeah.
bizarre.
I'll sorry, my dad's messaging me. Yeah, I agree. It just seems crazy. To be honest, you say we're talking about it, but there's absolutely not that I would buy anything from them. But anyway, like, I didn't even know who they were until you mentioned them. But like something like that, I wouldn't buy it. That would put me off buying anything from them if they think that's the sort of thing that's
like
okay.
I say, they've got a lot of flack, and rightfully so. And then weirdly, people are attacking like the celebrities which are attached to them, which I think is a bit odd. I'm like, they didn't, you know, consent to anything. They just endorsed. Obviously, it looks bad, but it's not like they were in the board meeting and be like, yeah, that's a great idea. We should run with that.
No, and you could argue they should now step down from endorsing them, but
yeah, I mean, I think personally I would, but I don't know, it's big level of money, so who knows?
You don't know the situation, do you? You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what's been said behind closed doors. But that being said, I would have nothing to do with them if that's the sort of thing they're going to do. But then you talk about companies doing that. I'm sure there's plenty of companies that I do shop with or buy from that are doing things that are, I would probably deem highly inappropriate as well. So generally, I would like to think I don't know about them, but yes.
I don't know much about it. Obviously, don't get me wrong, a lot of fashion brands and whatnot to a certain degree. I knew about them, but I was never be like, oh yeah, I've got to buy this stuff, because it's just weird stuff. It'd be like a hoodie that looks like it's been robbed in dirt, and they'd be like, yeah, that's $75. So like, or even more. It's just dumb fashion. Like, it's just people have way too much money and be like, yeah, that's a good buy. Yeah, so basically, like a weird, famous look. Like, hey, it's your money. Do what you want.
Don't you think that's strange though? Like, I often think about that with modern fashion and things. People are making some money out of some hilarious things like ripped jeans. Like, ripped jeans are more expensive than non-ripped jeans because I've had to go through the process of being ripped. But I'm like, I've got some jeans in the cupboard that probably look better than those having been ripped naturally. Fantastic jeans now with a bit of a rip. Except for, well, that being said, that's if they rip on the legs, obviously, in the right places. They don't always.
Yeah, it depends on where it rips. I've never got like the whole, because you basically pay more for less fabric. I've never understood that personally.
I get it.
Your own fashion sense, do you? But I just look at it a bit oddly, like, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's because they have to make the jeans and then rip them, I would imagine. So you're paying for them to rip your jeans for you. You could just buy a pair and rip them, but
really weird.
Yeah, then again, I have no sense of fashion, so that would probably explain at least part of it. Like, I don't get it because I don't have any fashion sense. I just about put an outfit together. Judging by today's outfit, I've basically just worn something to keep me warm when I was out walking and haven't changed outfit since. So.
I'm just wearing a hoodie. Well, I'm wearing some other clothes as well, but just a hoodie. Simple, sweet. Well, I'm in the house. I'm not trying to impress. Well, I'm never trying to impress anybody, but I'm just in the house.
But now we're on a YouTube. We're doing a video. But
yeah, well, because the goal is eventually to use my spare room, have some mics, maybe wear a nice little suit, and then just stalk away for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and see what comes out.
Yeah, well, thankfully you can see the tidier part of my room because I've been doing the bathroom today, so I've got tools all around my feet.
Yeah, this is why you're facing this way. If you're facing the other way, it will look a little bit messy. But I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas time. We're taking a break. We're not worrying about little things like this.
Taking a break from tidying.
Yep. So, before we go, have you got any plans for Christmas?
Really, just family time, mostly. Obviously, both of us are going to the rugby now to watch Leicester on Saturday, first game without Steve Borthwick, so that'll be good. I know you're a Sale fan, really, but we're taking you along.
Yeah, I'm a fan of rugby. I think I'm slightly annoyed my mum with that because she wanted me to come a little bit early and want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch rugby. So
sorry about that.
I'll see you in the. Yeah, well, I don't mind because what was I gonna do anyway?
That's true. At least we can go and have a good game out. But yeah, that's about it. Really, just a bit of time with family. And anything for you? I think you're off somewhere, aren't you? Somewhere on.
Yeah, so we're going to the cabin in I think Sherwood Pines or whatever the name is. Basically, similar thing we did last year. I think it'll be a slightly different cabin, but yeah, just family walk on Christmas Day. I think we're staying there till the 27th. Nice. A little bit of time there, and then just spend time with friends. Because I got a fair bit of time off actually, so I'm not back in until possibly next Friday, which is quite decent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so
I've got a couple of weeks off because construction always breaks up for a while, so it's nice.
Yeah, nice. We'll have to go do something, get some walks in, some more talking.
Yeah, we'll do another one of these at some point. See if we can get at least two episodes done, and then at least our channel will have more than nothing on it.
Well, some content. I think if we could do one a week, I think we'll be doing okay.
Yeah, I started thinking about the famous logo. We're gonna have I was talking to Ro about it earlier. We're gonna have a badger head we're gonna have like a, I can't remember what color she said, but we're gonna have a lightning bolt in the background, and we have a badger head, and underneath is going to be a burnt pizza.
And no one's going to know the significance of that. I feel like we'll save that for like one day in a later episode.
I think we should just never explain it. I think it's going to be what it is. You know, you're gonna marvel in the madness of our logo.
Yeah. I think never explain it, because I definitely come off as the worst friend in that situation. But we'll leave it there. You know, we just won't ever acknowledge it or address it. It's just there for the sake of being there, and that'll be the end of it.